All right, guys, so today I want to go ahead and react to this. This actually was from Good Morning Football. I think somebody actually commented down below and told me about this, or maybe they didn't tell me about this clip, but they told me about another clip with Good Morning Football. But Peter Schrager actually went ahead and chose us as the team with a backup quarterback who could go win the Super Bowl. So they pretty much went through a whole entire list of different teams like the Rams. Obviously, I think somebody else chose the Colts for Gardner Minshew. And it was like the whole point of this segment was who's the backup quarterback you could see underneath the confetti at the end of the year. Now, Peter Schrager is going to explain why he thinks it could be Jake Browning.
Flips the table on Shanahan and blows our minds that they beat San Francisco in the playoffs. Again, I think it's the Rams.
A coaching quarterback, right? So Josh Allen and Sean McDermott are the shiny object right now. Everyone's looking at those guys as like, this is the team. And the Bills, they have a very manageable schedule up ahead. And I think we all can say that the Bills are the hottest team right now after 2 wins over major players in the Chiefs and then what they did to the Cowboys. Quietly, another team that's got back-to-back wins that I just love their moxie right now. A team that we saw on Saturday on the NFL Network. Jason was there calling the game. The Cincinnati Bengals have that scar tissue and the moxie and have been there before as well. Like, you talk about the Rams, Bengals, everyone wrote off, but now that Browning's out there looking like he's Joe Burrow Jr., they've got a lot of guys who have played in huge games also. I love their schedule coming up. They go into Pittsburgh.
And side note here, we're not getting all the talk and publicity either. So we're getting like Jake Browning is performing at the best level we have seen a backup quarterback format probably ever. And not only that, we're also seeing that nobody's talking about us. There's no publicity about for the media. There's no, oh, the Bengals are scary. They're a good team. They're a great team. I love it. It's all this quietness going on with all the stuff we're doing. And that's how we play our best football. It's when there isn't talk about it.
Where they could just gut the Steelers, their longtime nemesis. They could just kill their season. Then they go to Arrowhead, a place where, oh, by the way, this Bengals team had won before in an AFC Championship game. And last year, a couple things go a different way, would have won again. They go in there with their season on the line. And then they finish the season with a battle against the Browns that's going to be an all-time epic.
And also, that Chiefs game is going to be a trap game. 1,000% that Chiefs game is going to be a trap game. Not only are the Chiefs not playing that good this year in general, but even then, you go into that game, the Chiefs are going to think, okay, well, we're playing the Bengals with a backup quarterback. This should be an easy win. This should be a free win, pretty much. And that's a game that they're going to lose. They did the same thing to the Denver Broncos earlier this season when they thought they could absolutely steampile them. End up losing that game, and this same concept's going to happen in Week 17. I'm sorry, Week 17 is going to be the same way, is that they're going to go into this game thinking, okay, well, we're going to their house, and they're going to absolutely steampile us, and that's games that you do lose over and over and over and over again. So, yeah, it's Kansas City. You better watch out, because if we beat you guys, it's literally going to be Browning head all year long.
Browning, to me, is one of the great stories of the league. We know that we went through this with Tommy DeVito and Josh Dobbs, and we even had a moment where we were rallying around backup quarterbacks who aren't even still the backup quarterback. Browning's not going anywhere. We know his deal. He was on the practice squad for the Vikings for years, gets released about 20 times, was picked up, let go, picked up, let go. Attaches himself to Burrow over the offseason and says, I'm going to train with your quarterback guru. I'm going to learn everything from you. Whether or not they are peers or that one of them looks up to the other one, it doesn't matter. They look at each other as equals. And right now, the way he's playing and what he did on the game that you called, I'm not betting against him. Jake Browning is doing it, and Zach Taylor is calling all the right shots in the big spots. I like the Bengals. I like what they've been through, and as hard as their schedule is on this way out, like the way to finish the season, I would have said it 2 weeks ago, and yet they still won those games.
It's so cool because he's...
And again, you got to keep in mind the fact that it's not like we're getting easy in these games, or we're getting easy games we're playing against. We beat the Jacksonville Jaguars when they were 8-3. Then we beat the Indianapolis Colts, who were 7-5. Then we obviously, the Colts, and then we beat the Vikings that were 7-6. We're not beating teams that are 2-10 or 2-11. We're beating teams that have winning records and are trying to push toward the playoffs. And we are knocking teams out of the playoffs, which is insane to say that when you have, again, you have a backup quarterback who, as Peter said, really went to 20 different teams in his career. Yet, for us, he is now becoming a superstar. And he's making a name for himself in this league. And every single week, it feels like he gets more comfortable. He gets more settled. He gets more just being himself. And he just gets better and better. And if I'm the rest of the league right now, I know, again, nobody wants to talk about us because they're like, oh, come on, man. It's just the Bengals. Like, they got no Joe Burrow. We're fine. We're fine. Yeah, no. At the end of the day, all this comes down to is if you guys let us in the playoffs, you got to go through the Jake Browning experience. Wild card, divisional, championship, Super Bowl. That's 4 games. Once you get in, you got to win 4 games. You win 4 games, it's GG, game over.
So as a backup, he would go into the defensive meeting room and meet with the defensive players and just listen to the things they would say. And he said he surprised himself because he was like, I give them a lot more credit. They're really not that smart. The things that they're looking at really isn't difficult at all. And he talked about him and Burrow, the relationship on the sideline. Like, you think Burrow's on the sideline giving him all these tips. He was just like, no, he just gives me assurance. Like,
is that right?
A bad play comes off. He's like, dang, I should have threw it. He was like, no, the guy should have caught the ball. Like, it's a great play by you. So they're dynamic in their relationship. He's told Burrow, like, hey, while you're injured, just start popping in the defensive meeting room.
One more Jake Browning question, because the viral clip was him saying they shouldn't have cut me for beating the Vikings. Different coach, different GM, but to you, like, it's just a logo? Is that how it looks? Like,
no doubt about it, because it represents your experience there. So, and he said that after. He's like, I acknowledge it's different people, but it's still that feeling that you get when you see the logo and you see the purple. And he had it, and give him credit. He waited till after the game as the field goes going through. He's like, you should have cut me. I like it.
We know the NBC executives are waiting to see which game, Week 18, is going to be the win and in. It could be that Bengals-Browns game. It's a battle of the backup quarterbacks with Jake Browning, and I go with Joe Flacco, another quarterback that has done.
And in all honesty, I mean, that game's going to be tough, right? Because this week the Browns play the Texans, and the Texans don't have C.J. Stroud. He's out for another week. So most likely the Browns are going to beat the Texans. And it's just like, the Browns at this point are just being gift-wrapped a trip to the playoffs. And, hey, listen, it is what it is. The Bears absolutely choked it against them last week. But overall-wise, it's just like we need some of these teams to start losing, right? We need some of these teams around us to start losing, because unless we win out every single game, we're going to need some things to help us, get into these playoffs. And the Bills are not helping us right now. Neither are the Texans. Neither are the Browns. But we should be fine. Again, like I said, at the end of the day, we control our own destiny. Win 3 games, you're in. Win 2 games and have things go your way, and you're in. That's pretty much all it always is. All it is at the end of the day. The last week of the season, they have to come to our house, and I think we will be prepared for the Cleveland Browns. It's going to be a tough game. It's AFC North football. I mean, I feel like everyone talks about how the Ravens have a toughest schedule. They play the Niners, they play the Dolphins, and then they play the Steelers. But for us, I mean, I think the toughest schedule in the NFL possible is going to be playing 2 out of 3 games against the AFC North. The AFC North, I say it all the time, is not for the weak. It's not. It's a very tough division that you have to play 4 quarters with every single time. And so, I mean, I know the Ravens do have a tough schedule, but I think we have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. We have to play the Steelers. We have to play the Browns. Both teams that know us very well and have beaten us very many times. So, overall-wise, it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, this is why we're great. It's why we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Because this is one more thing of adversity we have to deal with. We have dealt with so much adversity throughout this season. Joe starting off the season with a calf strain. Our right tackle being brand new. Then we have another, controversy thing. T. Higgins goes down with injury. Chase Brown went down with injury. Chuck Sizzle went down with injury. We had Cam Taylor-Britt we lost until probably week 18. Obviously, Joe then goes down for the season. That same time period. We've had so much adversity this year. So much. Starting off the season, 1-3? But yet, we kept turning it around. We kept taking the adversity and using it as momentum to play better and do better. And right now, listen, we're sitting in a very good spot. We're sitting in a spot where we control our own future. We control our destiny, and we have to get this done now. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.